How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Greetings, and I hope you're having a beautiful, beautiful day. Listen, I want to speak on something that's very important. Now, I want to speak on 10 things that you should never have to ask for from a man. 10 things that if that's your man, that's your man, that's your husband, that's your boo, that you should never have to ask for because these things are just common sense. Now, listen, let me forewarn you. A couple of things, a couple of this on this list, you might have to ask for once or twice. But if he respects you, he will continuously give it to you. Most of these things you never have to ask for when somebody really is interested in you or when somebody is really with you. Not a side piece. I'm talking about when they are really with you as their main, as their main woman. When you are their main woman, this is what you should never have to ask for because this will be provided for you. Okay? That's what we are called providers. Listen, let's get into it. Number one, you should never have to ask a man to respect you. Never. Not to respect you, because respect comes initially. Listen, respect is initial. Respect is one of the most bare minimum that you can ever have. Respect. If you are a respectable person, having respect for another human is natural. And even if I make you my woman and you represent me and I represent you, respect comes naturally. So you should never have to ask a man for respect. That's just too much. That's a man who doesn't care. He doesn't take you seriously. Number two, you should never have to ask a man to get a job. That's just weird. I don't see how a man is a provider, but you're gonna ask him to get a job. Like he doesn't know that he doesn't have enough money. Like he doesn't know that he can't provide. He doesn't know that the bills are not being paid. You should never have to ask a man to get a job. If you were with that man right now, that man will. That man, listen, he can't take you anywhere. You will never be elevated. You will always be stressed. You will always be in your survival mode. I don't want to say you're masculine because masculine, your survival mode. Never have to ask a man to get a job. Number three, you should never have to ask your man for attention. Yes, and naturally, if a man really wants you, attention comes second nature. I want to look at you. I want to see what you're doing. I want to talk to you. I want to spend time with you. That's naturally what you do when you like something, or when if you like your video games, you give it attention. If you like a flower, you give it attention. And if you like a person, you give them attention. It's a natural reaction. So if a man really is with you, you should never have to ask a man for attention. Whatever he's giving attention to is where his energy is focused on. I'm just saying. Number four, you should never have to ask a man to defend your honor, to defend you. Not from his parents, his family. Listen, naturally, if that's your man, that man naturally will defend you. Again, you represent him. You have his name. You represent, that means that he defending you is defending himself. I'm just saying, to defend you is a very huge honor. Number five, you should never ask a man to protect you. That's just weird. That's just weird. If you feel unsafe, especially when he's causing the damage himself, when he's causing you the pain, the suffering, you should never have to ask a man to protect you. Protection comes with love. The first order of business is to protect that which you love. That's the first initial thing of love, to protect that which you love. So you should never have to ask a man to protect you. And if you have to ask a man to protect you on a continuous basis, that means you might have to second guess the way how he feels about you for real. You might have to question, does he really see you? That's how you think you are to him. Do you really hold that position? The one that you think that you do. Question. Number six, you should never have to ask a man to compliment you. Compliments should come. It should flow your way. Now, sometimes, don't get me wrong, some people get distracted. Some people they get accustomed to you so much that they forget to compliment you. And I'm not talking about those people who tell you that you're beautiful, but they might kind of miss, especially when they're online complimenting all these other half naked women or complimenting regular women, and they don't compliment you. Is something is off. You should never have to ask a man to compliment you because he sees you, he recognizes you. A man who really cares is going to recognize you. Number seven, you never have to ask a man to come home. He lives there. How the hell he doesn't know where his home is? You think a man, imagine he's never home and somebody come to your house breaking and doing all this stuff to the kids and he's not home all the time. Then he has to be responsible. If a man lives there, he know where to come. At a certain time, it's called respect. This go back to the first, number one, respect. Why wouldn't he come? Why would a man want to live with you and don't come home to you? Something is off. If a man really want to be with you, coming home will be a second nature. Everybody want to come home to the thing that they love. Everybody. Now, we're not going to get into if you rude or disrespectful, and if you have a this lip service on you, this mouth and this attitude, then that might be a little different because you're rude and nobody want to come home to that. But if you are peaceful and understanding and loving and nurturing, every man will want to come home to that. I'm just saying. Number 8 for affection. Affection is a natural thing too. Now these are all natural stuff that I'm listing. I ain't saying a man gotta pay all this and all that to take you to expensive restaurants. I'm just telling you the basics. Number 8, affection. Affection is natural. If I like you, I'm gonna give you affection. I want to touch you. I want to, whisper things in your ear. I want to hold you. I want to touch you. I want to touch you in appropriate places or inappropriate places. You know what I mean? I want to do things to you. Affection is one of those things that it comes naturally. If I like you, I'm drawn to you physically, I'm drawn to you emotionally, and therefore I want to do things to you. Every time you pass me, I want to smack you. And you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying affection is natural. It's not something that's difficult to experience. It's a very natural thing. Now, sometimes some of us have grown up in homes where it wasn't shown affection, but still, when you like somebody, you're gonna see how it comes naturally sometimes. Not maybe as the most affectionate person, but affection will be there. You will not have to question, do you even like me? Because affection will be there. Number 9, you ain't got to ask no man to pay the bills. Now, I ain't gonna say that all men should afford all the bills, because every man can afford to pay all the bills. But damn it, you're gonna afford a couple, for rent or something. You should never have to ask a man to pay the bills because he knows when the bills are due. You don't have to help. It's like how I watch some shows and I hear a man say, I help her pay the bills. No, you help him pay the bills. That's the man. A man knows what bills comes every month. He grown. He ain't just leaving his mom house, or maybe he is. But you should never have to ask a man to pay the bills. Hell, he lived there. The hell is wrong? Now I ain't saying if you have your home and he has his own home and you're not married and he got to pay your bills. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, if you want to, he can, but he's not. You ain't his wife. But I'm saying a man who lives with you or married to you, live in the same house, that man should be working his ass off to pay those bills. And if he cannot get all the money to pay the bills, then you come in and you assist. I'm not saying all men should have or make enough money to pay all the bills. That's not what I'm saying. That is not really practical. That is not really what I'm saying at all. I'm not trying to say men will pay all the bills. Again, I keep repeating this because I don't want you all thinking that a man will pay all the bills. Every man can't afford that. But you wouldn't have to ask a man to pay the bills. And number 10, lastly, the man that you have in your life, you wouldn't have to ask the man to love you. Because that's just strange. That is weird. Because why he's there? You know what I'm saying? Why is he there? Why he's not showing you affection and love? Listen, you should never have to ask a man to love you. If you have to ask a man to love you, a lot of times it's removing self-love from you. It's making you question your worth. It's making you question who you are. And you begin to question your own love for yourself. You should never have to ask a man to love you. Listen, some things in this list you might have to remind a man once or twice. You know, you might have to remind him sometimes. Hey, you don't give me no attention. I get it. But if you have to remind him on a regular basis to respect you, to get a job, or to give you attention, to defend you, or to give you compliments, and it's like 6 of those things, then something might be off. If it's one of these things, it doesn't mean that he doesn't love you. If it's 2 of these things, but damn it, if you gotta, ask him to love you and to respect you and to, give you attention and to protect you, something is off. Those are big ones. Something is really off. So again, this is basic things. This ain't no over the, wall stuff. This is basic things that you should never have to ask for because these are bare minimums. These are minimums. If a man really loves you and got you, this is very simple. So I hope you understand what I'm saying. And listen, I ain't trying to cause the conflicts in your relationship. I'm just pointing out to you what men naturally do if a man wants you. Now, if a man ain't naturally doing these things, and you're going to ask him to do all these things, a lot of times, it doesn't mean that he doesn't meet these characteristics, but these characteristics doesn't come up or show up with you. It might show up for another woman, but that's not with you because it's not natural. And when a man don't feel that thing for you, or he don't see you as that woman, it doesn't come natural. You might have to ask him all the damn time because it's not a natural reaction. When he loves you and and he takes care of you and you are his woman, natural things happen. It's nature. When he doesn't, I have to ask this question. So again, I hope this makes sense. Let me know in the comments if whatever questions you have. Let me know if you ever experienced some of these things, and if you haven't, and if it doesn't make sense to you, let me know too. All right, you all be safe out there. I hope that the man that you choose or the person that you choose in your life gives you all these things, the bare minimum. And if not, I don't know what to tell you. Be blessed. All right, peace.